And there is I think one more thing, like Jairaj was talking about a stakeholder. There are few people in any organization, and they are very close to some kind of customer or some kind of a program or something. It's very hard. So don't touch those hard lines in the because if something happens, then you'll be fired. Okay? That much is sure. Hence, don't find out those things and then take those kind of projects. So every day, learn from past, improve further. So with this, I want to say one of the best story what we used to see and understand. It's called as Keep Moving. Have you heard of Keep Moving story anytime? Good.
No.
Let me have a break. One of the just 30 years old guy who was sitting in the aeroplane, he just came in the last moment and he took the plane and he sat in the business class, and inside he saw, there is one old guy with beard and mustaches and very white grey hair. He asking us, "Sir, if I recollect, are you not Krishnamurti, Professor Krishnamurti?" He said, "Yes." "Sir, I am your very beloved student. You remember me 20 years back, 10 years back, you gave me my convocation, you gave everything, certificate, etc. Now I am a CIO of so-and-so company." He said, "Well, is it good?" Okay. He never knew, he'll be giving so many convocations. He said, "Okay, good." "Sir, because of your 2 words, today I am the CEO of so-and-so company." He will say, "So what is that?" "Sir, actually you were on the stage and you were giving everybody, our convocation certificate, and I was coming in the queue. At that time you said me 2 words. What is that? You patted on my back and said, 'Keep moving.'" So those 2 words, sir, keep moving, dare me, in real life. I took that as mantra for me. Means I went on, keep on moving in learning technology, learning the domains, learning the applications, learning the cloud. So today I am actually CEO of so-and-so company. So wish you all the best. Any questions? Any questions? So keep moving.
Keep the questions moving. Also, what a wonderful presentation it was. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, otherwise I think to go to the next slide. So anytime, anything you want, you can feel to contact us. So this presentation is actually, we thought, nothing just
Basically means convergence of cloud, social. We'll be talking of convergence of architectural best practices in cloud and healthcare profiles. Experience of more than 23 years in diverse set of technologies. And he'll be, and Mr. Anthony also will be co-presenting with him. Yogesh is an expert in application modernization, security, SOA, SOA, BPM and cloud technology. Presently, Yogesh is working as the lead security architect for Dell's Cloud Clinical Archive. And Anthony Palithan is a senior architect with more than 12 years of diverse industry experience. Anthony's area of expertise is in JEE, SOA, BPM, middleware, and cloud technologies. Presently, Anthony works as an integration architect for Dell's Cloud Clinical Archive. Both Yogesh and Anthony are key contributors to the new generation re-architecture of DCCA, which is Dell's Cloud Clinical Archive. So they'll be sharing their experience on architecture principles on cloud.
Good on your moving. Yogesh Devi and Anthony, my friend, we work for Dell Cloud Clinical Archive. Dell Cloud Clinical Archive is Dell Cloud Clinical Archive, or more specifically the Dell Unified Clinical Archive. This is industry's largest vendor-neutral hybrid cloud for medical imaging. So essentially, this is a place where we, hospitals in North America keep their healthcare data for archive. They keep their medical images for archive. So as we talk, it manages more than 7 billion images. It manages 98 million studies. It's a very much operating enterprise grade, very strong cloud. And so essentially this is about healthcare domain. I don't know how many of you have worked in healthcare domain before. Any of you have? Wonderful. So this probably will be much more relevant to you. However, our endeavor would be to give you a good introduction on healthcare domain to some extent. So what we will do today in our talk is understand at what are those challenges that the healthcare domain demands from such an archive. Okay, and look at what are those profiles or what are those standards in the healthcare domain that such an archive of medical images needs to address. And then what we mean by convergence is how would all this really connect to the cloud architecture? How do we really map the domain challenges? How do we map what are the expectations from the domain profiles to the cloud architecture? So that's the convergence element. There's a little bit of misnomer, so I just wanted to set that expectation right. So what would you expect from this talk? We're not going to tell you too much about nuts and bolt details of this architecture. We are probably going to give some amount of thought-provoking information about if you were to build a healthcare cloud, what would it really do? So first, as I said, to level set, in order to give you some background, let's talk about what are healthcare archives, right? What are we talking about in first place? So when we say we are talking about a healthcare archive, what are we archiving? We are archiving healthcare data. Like all of us sometimes would have got ourselves X-ray or got an ultrasound scan done. Now all this information is stored in electronic form. Like still we actually go with kind of films and stuff like that, but now in most of the cases this information is stored in electronic form. So this data, this medical imaging information, this is what is the basic building block or basic stuff that goes into these kind of archives. There are standards like DICOM. I think many of you might have heard of DICOM. We'll talk a little bit about DICOM, but not too much. So there are standards which actually not just allow you to retain the data, but the metadata about it. Who does this image belong to, when was it taken, and stuff like that. So these things are critical for care. You take a X-ray image, that is what is going to be used by your surgeon, by your expert medical care provider in order to determine the state of your health. And so from that perspective, storing this information is absolutely critical. Now, while this kind of data, and then see, it need not be just data that comes from imaging modalities like your X-rays or MRI scans, but it could be also data that comes from some other sources that actually generate text form information. So while this is the basic information, actually healthcare industry works on more abstracted out views from this. So you might have heard of this term called the electronic medical record, which is actually the electronic counterpart of what you would see in a hospital. If somebody gets in a hospital, there will be charts maintained next to the bed, and they have some kind of information captured there. So an electronic medical record is nothing but an electronic form of this kind of information about what is your state of health, what is the care that was provided to you. So that's basically the electronic medical record. And but then that normally, so it also contains, in addition to this medical imaging data, it contains the demographic information. What is your age, what is your name, that kind of stuff. And then you might have also heard of electronic health record, which is basically nothing but aggregate of electronic medical record over time, right? It is, what happens is, if you go to a given hospital, he would have an electronic medical record, but then many a times we would actually encounter situations where you today go to one hospital, tomorrow you go to a different hospital or a different care provider. So electronic health record is a more aggregated form of electronic medical record. And then of course actually there is this notion of a personalized view of electronic health record if you wanted to extract your information. And then what happens is that we already talked of DICOM, digital imaging and communication medicine, which is a very important format, probably the most important format, most widely used to store and transfer healthcare documents. The imaging data as well as the associated metadata. Then a lot of you might have heard of HL7 or Health Level 7, which is another format which is typically used for transmitting events, like some person gets admitted in a hospital. This is an event, right? So there's a HL7 AVT message which actually communicates about this event between different systems. So then not just that, there's an institution called IHE which has defined document formats like clinical document architecture, or ASTM has CCR, continuity of care record. So these are basically document formats which different care providers exchange between them. So they are standardized so that everybody understands them. And then pretty much PDF is de facto internet standard for any document that you share. So what are we talking about? So where did we start? We said that we are an archive of clinical information. We are an archive of imaging data on the cloud, which is used by hospitals to store their imaging information. So now let's try to understand that from a perspective, right? So if you look at any hospital and think of where does imaging information come from, where does it go, and what do people do with it, that would be interesting for you to understand in perspective what is the place for such an archive. So any kind of scanners, your CAT scanners, your X-ray machines, these are the ones which, I hope all of you can see these slides, because actually I was sitting back there and I really couldn't see them. If you want, you can, there's a lot of space in the front. So there are these scanners, there are, so these are all sources of images, right? When you get yourselves a CT scan done or get an X-ray done, that's where an image is generated along with some metadata that is captured, and then that is something which is stored in a DICOM format or shared in a DICOM format, and it comes to something what we term as the picture archival and communication system, or PACS for short. And so this is pretty much has been existing in the healthcare industry for a long time. So not only that, so images come in, and then we talked about HL7, so any kind of events that your hospital information systems or radiological information systems are capturing. So these are basically softwares which are used to manage your hospital or your radiology department. So they're keeping track of when somebody got X-rayed or when a patient was admitted. So this kind of metadata is also coming, right? So all this is essentially coming into your picture archival and communication system, into your PACS. This is, we are talking of on-premises traditional healthcare infrastructure. right? So far we haven't even talked about cloud or haven't even touched the topic that we're supposed to talk about, but I'm just setting you the context and giving you the context of how hospitals have been working before the advent of this kind of a cloud-based aspect. So what happens now is that your surgeon or your specialist needs to look at those images, right? So, but then of course, you might get yourself X-rayed early in the morning or get your ultrasound scan done early in the morning after